All right, here we go. Aloha, everybody. Welcome to Facebook Live with Mel Rapozo. It is Wednesday, October 31st. Happy Halloween. We'll wait for people to come on. Aloha. Hey, Daniel. Aloha, Daniel. Patsy Kaimana Mana. Aloha. Welcome. Welcome to Facebook Live with Mel Rapozo on this wonderful Halloween. Aloha, Jill. Thank you for joining us today. Shyla. Appreciate you guys joining on this October 31st. And it's Halloween here on beautiful Kauai. We're here at Team Mel headquarters. Hey, Luca, how's it going? Norman Bukowski. All right, we got a bunch of people jumping on board already. It'll be a good show today. It's the last Facebook Live before general election on Tuesday, November 6th. It's been a long road. Aloha, Angie. Thanks for joining. It's been a long road and anxiously awaiting election day on November 6th, which is next Tuesday. Again, we're here at Team Mel headquarters down at Anchor Cove. Hey, Cheryl. Aloha. And it's Halloween, so I know all the cake is getting ready for Halloween night. We just had Aloha Wally, just had our sign holding still going on, in fact, out at KCC. Hey, Kimberly. And we had a nice turnout again, wrapping up the campaign season as we wind down. 6 days left to general election. So it's been a great road. It's been a long, exhausting one, but hey, Irv, on Tuesday, Kauai will elect the next mayor for the next 4 years, and we're hoping that we are successful. Like I said, aloha, Jenny. It's been a long, exhausting process, I think, for all candidates, and my hat's off to everyone that put their names in the hat and went out and worked hard to get elected. Elected office is a very rewarding career, not financially, but overall, it's an amazing opportunity for those and for all of you that have and for all of those that have ran for public office. Hey, aloha, everyone. Shan, Christian, David, and of course my dad, all the way from Seattle. Aloha, Dad. Thanks for joining on. Happy Halloween, everybody. So anyway, congratulations to all the candidates that put their lives out in front of everyone to serve this great community here on Kauai and beyond. So again, thank you very much. This is Facebook Live. We do this every single Wednesday at 5:30, and we encourage you to type in your questions in the comment box or your message box, or you can send one over if you don't want to share your question publicly. You can go ahead and send it off to mel4kauai@gmail.com. Big mahalo, Mel Rapozo, for the dedication you put in during this long campaign. Thank you, Wally. And Wally, as a candidate, it's not always that simple. It's demanding. It's physically demanding, emotionally demanding, and really, the stresses on the family is a lot harder, a much bigger stress, I think, than it is on the candidates. We're out there and getting in front of people, sharing our message and sharing our vision. But the families, they stay home and most of the time at our sides, but, they got to deal with the household chores as well as dealing with a spouse that is actively campaigning for an office. So hats off to all the families. I want to personally thank my wife, Patsy, who's here right now, actually at headquarters, monitoring the email. And of course, my kids, Baron and Nicole, who's out in Oregon right now and, very supportive. And from day one, from their first day, we decided to run for council back in 1998. I've always had the blessing of my family, and I thank them tremendously. It's taken a huge toll on them, and I'm not here to complain because we've done this together as a family, but really just for all the families out there that support candidates, mahalo as well. So. It's been a long one. I think it was over a year ago that we made the decision. I think for those of you that don't know, I've been on the council now. Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate that. It was over a year ago. I've been on the council for 14 years. The last 4 as the council chair. And because of the term limits on Kauai, I obviously cannot run for council. So we had to make a decision, and the decision we made was to run for mayor and to serve this community in a different capacity. And it was a discussion that we had, and came to the understanding and agreement that we would run for the mayor's office. So that's how it started, and since then we've put together a team which has grown to be quite a significant team, a combination of all kinds of diverse backgrounds, but everyone in Team Mel has the same vision, and that is to improve this island, improve Ni'ihau for our residents and our visitors as well. And so yes, while a lot of good has been done over the last 10 years, 15 years, there are areas that we can improve, and that is obviously my goal. That is obviously my vision, is to improve on some of what has already taken place. So aloha, Paul and Wes and Jeanette and Sarah. Thank you all for joining us. This is always a fun time for me when we get to open up the barrier, the wall between the community and the candidate or the elected official. I wish more candidates and more elected officials would do this. I wish I could communicate this way with other members of our state or local offices, as well as our federal offices, our congressional delegation. It would be nice if we could have a medium like this, that we can just pop off questions and everyone could get answers. I promise to answer every question that comes through. If I cannot, I'll definitely get back to you folks. Hey, Michelle, Grace, Paul, Linda. Thank you very much, Carla. Aloha, Linda. Awesome. We got a great crew on today. So please pop off some questions if you have any. I know we've gone through quite a bit of questions over the last several months that we've started to do the live. My plan is to continue to do the live if I'm elected, because that'll give the public an opportunity on a weekly basis. We'll probably keep it right here on Wednesdays at 5:30. Hey, aloha, Tricia and Shelly. Thank you for joining us. Nothing would change. We keep it on Wednesdays at 5:30. I think that's a good time slot. We get a lot of participation, so we're going to keep on doing this if we're successful on Tuesday. Where shall we go? Halloween. I hope your kids all going out tonight. Make sure they're safe. Make sure they're lighted up. Make sure, if possible, you're with them. We always run into that issue of crazy people out on Halloween. So please take care of your keiki as they go out tonight, and make it an enjoyable evening for everyone. Obviously, our keiki are old, adult kids. They're out. They're not even here on Kauai. I'm sure they're going to be celebrating Halloween their own way. But for us tonight, it's pretty uneventful without children. So, but for those of you that have the kids, please make sure that they're safe tonight. I know, like I said, a lot of you have been on every week, so we've covered many of the questions. I have had some questions that have come to me over the last week, and I'll try to get to them as we can. I know a lot of the questions surround traffic. We keep getting bombarded with questions about traffic. I did have one suggestion that, because as you know, if you see my traffic plan, and our website is melwinskauaiwins.com, melwinskauaiwins.com, and you see our affordable housing and our traffic plan there. That please take the time and go check it out. But one of the suggestions, or one of the solutions that I have for traffic is utilizing the cane haul roads, the existing cane haul roads that aren't being used right now, partnering up with the private landowners so that we can get some of the vehicles off the highway. And there was a suggestion, which is a very good one, and this really pertains to the Kapa'a traffic, is that along that Wailua corridor, there's a ditch, and if we could put a pipe in the ditch and cover the ditch and extend the lanes, and that's a great idea. I wish we could do that. Unfortunately, that is state highway, and that is something that is beyond the control of the mayor or the county council. So while it's a great idea and one that I would fully support, I can honestly tell you right now that we are not going to get the support of the state in the way of funding to do that. They have a traffic plan. The state does have one. However, we have been informed probably a year ago from State Transportation Division or Department that they don't have the funding. So it's not going to happen. Regardless of what anyone tells you, that is simply not going to happen. And we can sit back and just say we're going to wait with the state and work with the state. The reality is it's not going to happen. And we as a county need to look at ways that we can, within our control, within our ability and our authority, to ease the traffic problems, both on the Kapa'a side as well as the west side. So yes, I understand that that covering that ditch and putting a pipe in there would be an ideal way, but yet it's just simply not going to happen. Hey, Dad. Oh, my dad just leaving a message here. I'm sorry I can't do much in helping you. Dad, you've done a lot. You've taught me a lot. So you have done your share in creating this opportunity for us here on Kauai. So thank you, Dad. Love you, and stay warm. Hey, Dad, my dad's in Seattle. Been there for probably 40 years, I guess, and just in a beautiful part of the country. So love you, Dad. Thanks for joining in. The other thing is as far as traffic, and I think as we take a look at the west side, the state doesn't have a plan for the west side, and that was openly discussed at a meeting last year. So as well, the Cane Hall Road network, again, partnering up with the private landowners for the sole purpose of moving vehicles off of the highway, in addition to implementing our transit study, our transportation study that has been finalized, and now we're in the implementation stage. Continue with the implementation of that. That as well will provide some improvements in our bus system that will in fact help out traffic in some way. So again, it's not just one solution. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of cooperation with the private sector to fix that problem. I'm a realist. I think many of you realize that by now. I'm not into the fluff. I'm not into the telling you I'm going to look at innovative ways. I think that what you see in my plans are tangible solutions that I believe we can implement at the county level. Now, maybe that some of that will have more challenges or obstacles than others, but so be it. We cannot continue to wait for the state. We cannot continue to wait for consultants or look for innovative ways. I think, after 14 years on the council, I think I've seen what works and what doesn't. And we need to focus on what we as a county can do to improve not just the highways and the traffic, but also the parks and parks and recreation area. Our parks are in a horrible state right now. And that is going to take some effort. That's going to take, again, appointing qualified, competent leaders in those divisions so we can work towards a much higher standard for our residents and our visitors as well. What about the dirt road behind Wailua to connect the house lots to Cuomo Road? That again is all part of the master plan and one that we'll be considering. There's also a connection from the house lots to the bypass. That one was discussed, funded. However, when the roads division or public works went to the house lots, there was some opposition. So, I think that's where, a leader has got to make the tough decisions. And, a connection from the house lots over to the bypass road, which is how that subdivision was originally planned, is something that we got to look at and got to complete. That'll take a lot of the house lots traffic off of Kuhio Highway. And again, one of the many solutions that we will be looking at if we're successful on Tuesday. The bottom line is this: we have to stop just talking about it. We have to stop deliberating about it. It's these tangible projects need to be done. And yes, some people are going to be upset. Yes, some people are not going to be happy. But if we wait to make sure we have 100% agreement, then as we have seen, nothing will get done. So I'm willing to step forward and make those commitments and make those tough decisions and deal with the backlash if any occurs. I mean, that's what leaders do. We cannot sit back and just pretend that we're going to please everybody, because that's not going to happen. We have a plan, and we're going to try to implement the plan. And as I stated, on the bottom of both of those plans, it says, we're still open for suggestions. That's a living document. That's not cut in stone. That is what the plan is for now. As I take the 30,000-foot view of this island and what my experiences is on the council, the 14 years, I believe that we can do in the next 4 years. So that is the plan. And do you plan to have work management studies done in each department? Absolutely. We are going to do staffing audits. We're going to do performance audits, starting with the mayor's office to determine. You see, the mayor will step into the second half of a fiscal year budget. And that is where a lot of the assessments will occur. And then come next fiscal year, necessary changes will be made. In fact, some changes may occur before the end of the fiscal year. But yes, Larry, I plan on doing the audits. Audit is not a bad word. It's a great thing. I think it's a great tool, one that we have not used. I have introduced, I believe, 6 or 7 audits in my career as a council member. All of them did not get the necessary votes, so we never did them. Public Works, Parks, we did one on the hiring practices. We did some on some of the other that actually came out of the old auditor's office. But we cannot continue to operate with the current methods, and the audits will definitely determine, well, it will identify inefficiencies and recommendations for us to create a much more efficient county. So yes, Larry, that is definitely something I will pursue immediately. The development going on towards Port Island understandings for affordable housing, true, yes. Okay, now that I'm assuming you're talking about the A and B development project out there at Port Island. That is one that they they have a master plan, a conceptual plan, which is very, very far away from getting done. That's the one we had during the general plan update. We talked about the designation of provisional ag, which I did not support because I've never heard of that designation before. But basically what it does, it allows the landowner to change that status from ag to commercial or whatever they want to do without having to amend the general plan, which would eliminate the need for an EIS as well as the community input. So I did not support that. However, they did get the 4 votes. Myself, Councilmember Chalk, and Councilmember Yukimura voted against that provisional ag designation, but it did pass. So that is going to be how that works. So again, build out for that's probably another 20, 30 years. So the community is going to dictate what happens in that area. So I would encourage the community to engage with that process when it does happen. We're years and years away, but nonetheless, it's something that I think we got to pay attention to, and that the community is going to have to play a really, really key role. Jill, can there be a corporate private adoption of county parks which would do both work days and perhaps facilitates employees giving to fund better maintenance coverage? We do have some adopt a park projects here, and at the end of the day, I believe that it's still the county's responsibility and obligation. I think stewardship agreements, adopt the parks, they work, but it still has to be very closely monitored by the county. And obviously we'll pursue that. And if there are corporations or community organizations that, number one, want to take on the responsibility, and number two, have the ability, both financially and manpower and every other way, then I'm more than happy to allow that to happen. But again, it has to be monitored, because at the end of the day, the product has to be at a standard which I believe we're not at. And whatever works, I'm open to any kind of opportunities. And I can tell you, it does work in other jurisdictions. You can have a corporate, a company here, a business, a local business, basically take ownership of the park and have their workers go out or their employees go out and maintain. But again, the parks that we have on Kauai are so heavily used that it takes constant maintenance. So obviously it's something that I would love to explore. But at the end of the day, we cannot hand out stewardship agreements to organizations that do not have the ability to maintain it to the standards of which I expect. And I can tell you my standards, I won't say they're extremely high, but I can tell you that it's a lot higher than what we're seeing right now. So we just want a clean and safe place for our residents and visitors. That's not much for a taxpayer to ask. Animal shelter had an audit. Yes, that's right, Felicia. That's the first audit that I ever got the support for. We did do a audit on the Humane Society. Came with a lot of backlash from the community. At the end of the day, we came up with some great recommendations that the county has been implementing. So thanks for that correction, Felicia. Appreciate that. God, we got a lot of old friends on this now, and I love it. Chris, Lorraine, Raylene, Mark, thanks for joining us. Again, this is October 31st. It's Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. This is Facebook Live with Mel every Wednesday, 5:30. This is the last one before the general election on November 6th. So number one, I hope all of you are registered to vote. And I hope, number two, you vote for Mel. I mean, obviously. We got 2 great candidates running, 2 good people. I just believe my experience, my ability to lead provides this island with a much better choice. So that's, and I'm sure my opponents is the same thing. But at the end of the day, you get tangible solutions, tangible plans versus vision. Visions are great. A vision and ideas and all that are great, but at the end of the day, the mayor needs to lead. The mayor needs to direct. The mayor needs to make sure that our needs are met, and that is what I promise to bring to the county of Kauai. Again, 14 years on a county council. I've served all sorts of all sorts of committees. Last 4 as the chair, which I have been honored and blessed to serve. I'm just so thankful for the people of Kauai to give me this opportunity. Born and raised here, I've seen this island change some. I've also traveled around the country and the world, and appreciate this island so much more. That I want to really make sure that we do the best we can for this island. Now, I know many of you know that my 2 kids, Baron and Nicole, live in Oregon right now, and simply they just couldn't afford to stay here. And although they enjoyed in Oregon, I think if they had an opportunity to have a life here with a quality of life that they could actually enjoy, they may still be here. And I don't want to see other families go through what we went through, sending off your kids to another place because they can't afford it here. Unfortunately, I don't have land, I don't have money, so it's very difficult for us to keep them here. And so, yeah, they moved on, and I'm very proud of our kids, but yet there are so many kids that have to leave because they simply cannot afford it here, and that's something we got to work on. Affordable housing is a big problem, and it all starts with the definition of affordable. What is affordable? Affordable isn't $600,000 a year. $600,000. Affordable is not $500,000. Affordable housing for any young family starting out is probably around the $275,000 to $250,000 range. That you can't even get land for that over here anymore. So we got to work extremely hard, working with with partnering up with nonprofits and with organizations that specialize in providing affordable housing. That's where it starts. It starts with those partnerships. It starts with getting some land. This county is not land rich. I got to tell you, we don't have much land. A lot of our land is in parks, but we have opportunities. We have a ton of homes and vacant lots out here right now. As you drive around this island, we have homes that are being lost to foreclosure that this county can pursue. We don't do that, and I'm not sure why. One of the things I've been getting criticized a lot on Facebook is, hey, Mel, you've been on a council for 14 years. You haven't done anything. Well, the bottom line is the way we're structured here, unlike the mainland. On the mainland, you have a mayor, you have a county manager, you have a council. The mayor is usually the part of the county council. Typically, it's the chair of the council, but he's the mayor. They don't have the strong mayor system. You have a county council here on Kauai that's a legislative branch. They are the people that make the laws. On the mainland, where you have this county manager system, you have a mayor and the county council that hires a city manager or county manager, and they execute what needs to be done. So I understand the frustration, especially from the people that have moved here that came from a system like that, and they blame the county council for not fixing the roads, for not cleaning up the parks. Well, people have to understand that the county council cannot by law direct any department to do anything. I know that's hard to stomach, but that's the way it is. It's a separation of power. We have an executive branch, which is the mayor and his administration, and you have the legislative branch, which is the council. So the council passes the budget, and the council passes the laws, but we do not direct the administration to do anything. So I understand the passion, and it's frustrating because it's very hard to convey that via a Facebook post. But at the end of the day, we cannot direct anyone, or we get in trouble. We can lose our job as a council member if we do that. So it's a lot of begging. It's a lot of memos going to the administration. Says, please consider doing this. Please consider doing that. We've funded projects in the budget, but it's at the end of the day, it's up to the mayor whether or not he's going to implement. So I hope that people understand the fact that Mel Rapozo hasn't done anything in 14 years. You got to understand that if I could, I would. Trust me. If I had any say or authority to deal with our parks problem, it would have been done. I'm very limited. We send a memo, Please take a look at XYZ Park. There's problems. A bathroom's broken. We got into a whole big thing about the portable toilets. All of that was initiated not from the Parks Department. That came from Mel Rapozo at the County Council. That started off because a constituent sent me pictures. I sent it to the parks, and that's what started the whole storm of activity, which now we have a new vendor for our portable toilets. So it's a very, very difficult situation here, and that's why I'm really excited about the opportunity to serve as the mayor, only because of the very long time experience that I've had on a county council. I've seen what works and what doesn't work. So I just want that opportunity to really implement and execute what needs to be executed, and that is my commitment. It's not just housing. There's no jobs for our kids here, no jobs that pay well enough to even buy a home. Absolutely. And, you know, I love it when candidates go out and say, we got to bring more jobs to Kauai. Really? How do you do that? We have the highest cost of living. We have the worst state in the country as it relates to business. We have the most unfriendly state when it comes to doing business here on Kauai or in Hawaii. We don't have the ability to offer any incentives to any companies to come to Kauai. We can maybe give a break on property tax, but that's all we got. The state has the ability to incentivize companies coming to Hawaii. We've done it with the film industry. Those guys come here and trust me, they get a ton of fiscal breaks. They got tax breaks. They got all kinds of stuff because they want to do movies on Kauai. I mean, in Hawaii. But we as a county, we do not have that ability. I mean, we can. How do you incentivize? What do we do? Hey, we'll give you a few $1,000s a year off of your property tax. You know, what is the solution? That's what I'm saying. You know, it's so easy for me to come out and say, yes, I'm going to bring jobs to Kauai. You know, people got to understand the difference between what's real and what's not. And it's very simple for me to come up here and fluff my way into the mayor's office. But I am trying to convey to you guys that I would love to have businesses come to Kauai, open up jobs for our people. But they're not going to come if the business environment isn't feasible for them. We've tried. We have the 2 tech centers out on the west side that KEDB manages. And I see this, one of the questions here, there is no such effort on STEM learning for kids. Actually, there are. We have a great STEM program at all of the schools, participate in it every single year. The problem is that once these kids come out with their science, technology, engineering, or math, and they got this beautiful knowledge base and they want to expand, the problem is there's nowhere for them to do it here in Kauai. There's the PMRF. The base hires a lot of technical people. And I just love PMRF and appreciate what they do for our community. And any opportunity that we can have for them to expand, you know, obviously I would support. The seed companies out on the west side, and a lot of people don't like seed companies, but they offer a lot of, they hire and they employ a lot of our scientists, biologists. When I did my tours out there a couple of years ago, I was very surprised to see how many local kids came back after they got their bachelor's and their master's and are working out there as scientists, as biologists. And so yes, there are some opportunities, but how do you get more industries to come? The tourism industry, they pay okay until the next crash, and then people get sent home with no hours. And I know I work in that industry, and yes, they pay a decent wage, but you're not going to, based on the cost of housing today, the $600,000-700,000, that's not sufficient. Unfortunately, you know, if we had it down to the $350,000 range, yes, 2 working families could get a home here. But the market is so blown up, you know, and there's so many different factors that create that. You know, supply and demand. As long as you got people willing to come here and pay the high price, that's what's going to happen. That's economics, and there's no mayor that's going to change that. You know, again, this is reality, people, and I know it's probably hurting my chances to get elected, but I'm trying to be real with you folks. You know, the vacation rentals here, my commitment was to create a 2-member enforcement department within planning to aggressively go after our illegal vacation rentals. The legal ones, you know, there's nothing we can do about them. You know, we got to make sure that they're following the law and the regulations. But as far as the illegal ones, which are in the thousands, we need to get them out. We need to convert those properties back to long-term rentals. Yeah, they won't be affordable, but they're going to create inventory even at the higher end. But until we do that, trust me, we're not going to see a change in our median prices of homes. So yes, there's some things the county can do. There's some things that we can do independent of the state. And yes, it's not popular, but if you want to see change on this island, trust me, it's going to take a little bit of pain. It's going to take a little bit of suffering. And it's going to take a little bit of tough decisions that I'm prepared to make. So yes, I want to see an expansion. I want to see a much more focus on the STEM programs here in the schools, so we can get our kids into PMRF and get them into jobs that actually pay. The county has some high-tech scientists, and especially in wastewater and those places where we need the technical skills, as well as hotels and other industries that, yes, we can use those people. And we want to get them interested. We also have ag. There's a lot of opportunities for high-paying jobs in ag. Yes, not the laborers in the field. That's what people, when they look at ag, they think, oh my gosh, it's these guys pulling weeds and picking crops. But at the end of the day, there's a whole new science side of ag that we got to focus on that provides opportunities for our young kids to go out and explore. The medical field as well. Medical field, a lot of opportunities, shortage of nurses, shortage of doctors. So it's a matter of getting our kids interested in those fields, getting them to get off of that mentality of, I'm just going to work in a hotel. And that's the challenge. And that starts in the home and then throughout school. But we as leaders got to make that opportunities available for our kids and get them to see the light. And absolutely something that I support. We keep electing the same representative. Yes, a realist, a great call. Thank you, Leona. I get accused all the time of, you're too harsh. Well, how do you sugarcoat that? How do you sugarcoat that? Hey, Mel, what have you done? Well, how many jobs have you brought? Well, I don't know. I don't know what my actions in the last 14 years have done as it relates to jobs. But I can tell you what, in the last 14 years, I've stood up for all of you to save your tax money, to save your real property taxes from being raised. I've been up at the legislature testifying all by myself to protect our lifeguards so that we don't get whacked with lawsuits. I've been at the legislature testifying against the TAT increases that went to rail. So yes, what have I done? Because I don't do a press release, because I don't do a selfie and post it on Facebook. I think there's a lot of things, and I think it's really not so much what the tangible stuff that I've created, like a bus shelter or whatever, but it's what I have stopped, what I have helped to stop from happening on this island, I think is much more important. Speaking of park restrooms, what about the homeless taking residence in our public park? Taking residence in, I don't know if you're talking about homeless people taking our people into public park bathrooms. If that's happening, let me know, Daniel. I think I've read a couple of stories on Facebook. One of the things that we got to really increase is the patrols on our parks. And again, when I started in the police department back in 1985, we had 8 police officers patrolling the island. It's 2018, and there's 10. So, one of the plans is working with the police department and doing an incremental increase in the beach trucks of our island, get more cops on the road. We have a lot of police officers that work on desk. I think we need more officers on the beat. We need more officers on the road. We need more presence. We need more patrols. That comes with a cost that I'm willing to spend, because I think that is important. I hear a lot of complaints about they got to wait an hour, 2 hours for a cop to show up. We only have 10 cops on the road at any given time, and we have sergeants and we have other officers, traffic unit, but at the end of the day, assigned to the beats, we have only 10 officers. I know a lot of you people are surprised. That's how it is. And we've increased the fire department tremendously. We have much more fire stations than we've ever had, and we haven't really done the same improvements for our police department. So yes, we need more police officers. That comes with a cost. It also comes with a challenge, because we cannot fill the current vacancies that we have. No one wants to be a cop anymore. So that's, again, another program that we got to really pursue in getting our kids interested in law enforcement, because that is really, really, really important. Already STEM, yes, but I mean the other kids that don't fall into STEM. Absolutely, Joe. I mean, we got, arts and craft, the arts, the media arts right now. We're working on a media center that I want to continue the work that Bernard has started. And getting that whole industry some attention. Yeah, absolutely. Like ag, we want to get our kids in the dirt. We want to provide opportunities like we did in Kilauea with the ag park. What a great model that we can bring into Waimea High School. Has a fantastic ag program that are getting our kids interested in ag. So yes, we got to expand beyond. Every kid should be counted, and we got to determine what kids are built for college, what kids are built for vocational education, because not everyone's built for college. And that was me. I didn't graduate from college till I was in 2009. I was an old man. Graduated my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I didn't do it after high school. I wasn't built for college back then. It took me a long time to understand that it's something I needed to do. But some kids aren't built for college. So, I believe it's in Switzerland, at the 8th grade, they determine, hey, kid, you want to go to college? You go on the college track. If you're into a vocational skill, you go that track. I'm not suggesting we do that, obviously, but we got to identify the children or the kids that have a future and they want to go to college and expand and focus them in that direction, and the ones that are looking at a vocation. The trades aren't a bad deal. It's the problem is, when construction goes bad, the trades go home and they sit on a bench. But the trades, our electricians and our plumbers and our masons, these guys make a lot of money and they enjoy what they do. So yes. We got to make sure every kid is accounted for. Kauai needs Mel. Oh, thank you. I want to come home already. Been 32 years in Alaska. Oh gosh. Ew, I get cold just thinking about Alaska. Makes sense, so the Healy can focus on permits. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I've said. We want to bring our planning department back to be a planning department, not a permitting department. Yeah, I know I've rubbed some people the wrong way, but again, I'm a realist, and sometimes the truth hurts. We gotta come back to the true function of a planning department. That's why it's called planning department. It's not permitting department. We have a bunch of great planners in our planning department. Young, brilliant, bright planners. We just got to let them plan, working with the communities to plan their communities, and then the planning director can really implement what the plans are. So yeah, that's going to be a challenge, but one that I will take very seriously is bringing that department back to plan so that we have much better planned communities. Thank you, Wally. I appreciate the nice comment. Sending our support and prayers from the Big Island. Hey, Uncle Charlie, mahalo. Long time no see. We need more dollars for the. We need more dollars. Richard Robinson. Yeah, we got one more week to go in the campaign, and obviously, campaigns cost money. If you guys want to help us out, get over to our site. Mel wins, Kauai wins. Hit the donate button, and so we can finish up strong. Thank you very much. Applaud you for making yourself accessible. Providing your personal cell phone number to the public. Yeah, I've done that from the start. When I first got elected back in 2002, everybody thought I was nuts, and no, it's just something I believe. I get elected by the general public and the residents. They vote for the people that they think are going to represent them. It's almost like your doctor. If you got a doctor and he doesn't give you his home or cell number, then go find another doctor. When you need your representative, you need to be able to call them. And so I always felt privileged and honored as a council member, and giving up your cell phone number was something I just thought had to be done. Yeah, I get the ugly calls too, but it comes with the territory. But I do appreciate when we get the calls, and when we talk about possible solutions together, problems in the community that I would not know. I always say, we don't know what we don't know. In other words, if I don't know something is wrong, then I don't know that something is wrong. Unless someone tells me, I don't know and I cannot fix it. So yeah, it's always great. It's always great when people call and say, hey, Mel, there's a problem. There's a light down. There's a bathroom that's dirty or broken. And then we get to route it to the right agency to ask them to get it fixed. So yeah, thank you very much. In your traffic plan, you want to limit the amount of rental cars on our roads. With tourism being our #1 industry, and with you being a huge advocate of bringing Southwest to Hawaii, it will obviously bring more tourism on our island and our roads. How do you think the presence of Southwest Airlines will affect tourism? What are your immediate alternate forms of transportation to support an additional minimum 175 more people to our island? The whole thing with Southwest was the monopoly that Hawaiian Airlines currently has. And I think it is from Avery. Yeah, I know Avery. I think you work for Hawaiian Airlines, and I just, it's just the way it works. And when you have a monopoly, the fares obviously go up. And my letter to the CEO of Southwest Airlines was really to have them check out the the area and to see if that's something they could work into. You know, 2 airlines would be better. You know, it's like 2 guys running for mayor. It's a lot better than just one. You know, you got a choice. And I think that competition is good for the marketplace. So as far as the rental cars, you know, getting them off the road, you see right now what's happening is our hotels bring in these tourists, you know, KVB and the HTA, they bring all these tourists to Kauai, and the hotels put them up. But, you know, hotels don't offer shuttle services. The hotels don't offer any transportation services. What they expect these tourists to do is come in and rent a car. And we need to work with these hotels, these people that offer attractions, the luau's, like, you know, Smiths and so forth. Smiths, they have a shuttle. So they drive around the hotels, pick up the tourists, and get them to their event. That's what we're going to do more of. You know, I don't think it's necessary for a tourist, or shouldn't be necessary for a tourist, to have a rental car every single day of their stay. So if we can accommodate them with, you know, transportation within 5 miles of the hotel, courtesy transportation in a van by the hotel, shuttles to the mall, shuttles to restaurants, getting them out of their car so they don't have to rent a car for every single day of the visit. And that is what I'm talking about. You know, rental car employees went nuts when I said that. But at the end of the day, if you don't need to rent a car, you shouldn't have to. If I have a 5-day vacation to Hawaii, and I have 2 days of or 3 days of my vacation, and I can hang out at the resort and utilize the courtesy transportation at the hotel, that'll keep 3 days of vehicles from that person off the road. And if we do that with all the hotels, not all of them can do that, but if we work with them and in fact maybe subsidize to some extent a network of county shuttles or a joint partnership with the hotels in the county to provide these vehicles that'll provide a shuttle loop for the visitors, I'm all in support of that. The bottom line is we have to get vehicles off of the road, and that's what I meant in that traffic plan. As far as Southwest Airlines, you know, inter-island travel is not the issue right now. What I'm most frustrated about is the amount of routes that we're getting from all the airlines with no input from the community, none. The state decides, or the federal government decides who gets the routes, and all of a sudden we get a new route to Kauai that's another 60, 70,000 people a year. That is the frustration, with no community input from the island that's going to be impacted. In the meantime, our parks are going to hell, our roads are going to hell, and yeah, it's not all by the tourists, but we should be able to balance that out so that we have the right infrastructure for the amount of tourists coming in. Right now, we don't. And it's not going to get any better. Mel, thank you for your honesty and straightforwardness. This is what we need. Thank you very much. Go, Mel, run for president. Yeah, I will. Thank you. Happy Halloween. Absolutely. It is Halloween. It's October 31st. And again, it's getting dark, so the ghouls and the goblins will be coming out shortly. Hello, everybody. Well, what time is it? 6:13, man. That was 45 minutes. 45 minutes already. We got 15 minutes left. Any more questions or comments? November 6th, next week, Tuesday, general election. I'm here again to ask for your support. You know, we're making a very hard run in the last week. We could use some help. If you want to help out Team Mel, please go to KauaiWins.com. There's a donate button. Go ahead and hit it. Any little bit helps, $10, $20. Every little bit helps. Again, KauaiWins.com. A very good place to go check out our plans that we have. Those plans were made so that the public had an idea of where we're going to go from December 3rd is inauguration. Where we're going to be in December 4th. What are we going to start working on? That's what those plans are for. I've been in this game way too long to sit back and say, well, you know, we're going to look at possible. No, we've already looked at the possible ways. Now it's time to implement. It's time to work. Curbside recycling, absolutely. You know, we had a pilot project back in Pui a few years ago, and the administration stopped it. They said it cost too much money. You know, we have issues with recycling right now because of the plastics, but that is definitely the direction we got to go. I support curbside recycling. That's one of the. We have a integrated solid waste management plan that is due for an update in 2019. So I'm going to be very critical with that update. I'm going to be very involved with that update, looking at the technologies available, not just in in waste to energy, but also in recycling, because there are a bunch of new recycling technologies out there that can possibly help us as well. So curbside recycling, definitely something we're going to explore, and I would love to implement in the first year of office, because I think that is the ticket. You want people to recycle, make it convenient, they'll do it. So yes, that's something that we will be looking at. Awesome, sounds great. Hopefully you can implement all of that if elected. Thank you for your awesome courage and drive to better Island. Avery, mahalo nui. And thank you very much for always being I don't know what to call it. Like you call me out all the time, and I love it, man. That's what friends do, and I love what you do. Thanks, Avery. I appreciate it. Looking forward to working with you in the future. Mel wins, Kawhi wins. Thanks to everyone who has already voted. Everyone can get 10 friends to vote. We need to get them out. Yeah, you know, money is good. We need money, but more importantly, right now, get in your phone, go down the list, call everybody in your list. If you could do that for us, if you believe in what we believe in, if you believe in the direction Mel Rapozo wants to take this county into, then you gotta let everybody know they need to come out and vote, and they need to vote for Mel. That's what it's going to take. You understand, we've had a grassroots effort. We've raised, you know, I think it was in a paper, you know, we raised 100 some odd thousand. My opponent almost 500,000. We are relying on grassroots. We meet here at our headquarters. Everybody pulls out their cell phones. They call people up because we can't afford the mail out. We've done one mail out, but at the end of the day, we need your help, your encouragement, influence on people will be tremendous. We need to get a lot of votes to win this thing. So anyway, I'm watching you from the hospital in the ICU. Oh my goodness, Tanette, prayers your way, prayers your way. I don't know what you got, but whatever it is, if you're in intensive care, God bless you, and we hope for a very speedy recovery. Oh, very sick with pneumonia, shucks. Okay, we're praying for you. Everybody, quick prayer for Stanette Owana, ICU, God bless you. Problem with curbside recycling, it doubles or triples the trash trucks on the road. It has to be done strategically, Larry. You know, it just has to be done in a way that someone was told me that they have these trucks now that are equipped with 3 bins on the truck, and they do the 3 barrels at the same time. I mean, that's going to take a huge educational component to make sure people are lined up, their barrels are lined up the right way. Again, that's what the Integrated Solid Waste Management Study is going to provide the update in 19. And I look at all the opportunities available, and we'll make the right decision with the community's input. We'll make the right decisions. And it's not going to be because I know someone or I owe someone. That's the beautiful thing about this campaign. I don't know anybody, anything. So we're going to do what's right for the island, regardless of who it is. We're going to do what's right. Do you think county employees are accountable for their performance? Do I think, I'm going to be honest with you, we have a lot of great employees in this county. And yet we have some that, like any organization, you know, you have most of the employees are great. I think what we lack is leadership. I think what we lack is department head leadership. We lack accountability at that level, and that is a direct responsibility of the mayor. The mayor should hold these department heads accountable. So that is my plan. You've heard this before. You know, I'm going to appoint qualified, competent people that's going to be accountable to me. They will answer to me. If there's issues, they're going to answer to me. I'm not going to go talk to the guy in the park. I mean, they'll be surprised at how involved I will be in the day-to-day operations. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to go discipline a park caretaker. Trust me, you know, his supervisor is going to hear about it. Department is going to hear about it. But I'm not into this. Go yell at people and humiliate people. No, it's going to be, we're going to create a team, and the team, all of the team members are going to understand the rules of the game, and we're going to make sure that the rules are followed. Simple enough. And again, for me, it's the department head. Department head is not going to have a wonderful day if I'm finding out that he's not doing his job, or his or her people are not doing their job. There's no way a mayor can be or have accountability, direct accountability of 1,200 employees. There's absolutely, that's why we have the supervisors. That's why we have superintendents. That's why we have department heads. So yes, absolutely. But I've spoken to many employees who want to see the change. Yes, all the unions have endorsed my opponent. I know, and that's great. You know, it's one less thing I got to worry about. But as I go around and I talk to county employees that have come up to me and say, "Mel, you got to get elected, man. We got to get some change. We need some change desperately." You know, for those workers, I see a very good future. I see a very bright future for this county and its employees. We're going to take care of our employees. We're going to provide for advancement of our employees. You know, I come with 21 years of experience in the military and the National Guard that I served as all kinds of trainers and training, and their system of advancement is like no other. They encourage and they provide opportunities for you to better yourself through correspondence courses, through trainings. You know, I plan to take some of that and bring it to the county, working with correspondence courses so our employees can improve. They can get better qualified. They can have opportunities to advance their careers. They're going to love it, I promise you. The ones that are working, the hard workers, the ones that want to be part of this team are going to be very happy and encouraged. And those that don't like it will go look for work somewhere else. That's how it's going to be. We're going to reward the workers that deserve to be rewarded. And the labor union is going to have to deal with it. You know, they're going to have to deal with the new style of leadership. Yes, we're going to comply with the union contract. Yes, we're going to follow the collective bargaining agreements. Yes, we're going to do all of that. But at the end of the day, my job as your mayor is to make sure that your departments are running as efficiently as possible, that your employees are coming to work and that they're doing the work. And we're going to reward our employees that do good work for our county. I'm excited about that. I think there's something that's long overdue. And my style is a little different from what people are used to. Galen Pang, aloha Galen, gosh, long time no see. Department heads and supervisors have to provide incentives for employees to take pride in their job. Yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly what I just said, Larry. We're gonna reward them. You know, we can't reward them financially, obviously, but we can definitely reward them in other ways. You know, recognition goes a long way. Military is great with recognition. You know, nothing like coming to work and getting recognized in front of your peers for a job well done. People will never admit to that, but I know military did a lot of that. The police department did a lot of that. I've decorated. I got all kinds of medals, and yeah, maybe it didn't mean much or it doesn't pay your bills, but I'd be lying if I told you I didn't feel good when they put that new medal on my shirt. You know, certificate of merit. You know, perfect attendance. Yeah, people know I had 12 years perfect attendance in the police department. 12 years without a day of sick leave. Yeah, I'm bragging because not too many people can say that anymore. So yeah, it's a new leadership style. It's a different, and it's taking county, private, military all together into this body right here that's gonna lead this county in a new direction. And I'm so excited. It is 6:23 people, October 31st. Happy Halloween to everybody. Any more questions, comments? I love this Facebook Live. We'll be here next week, Wednesday as well, day after election. Hopefully it'll be a good one. But win or lose, we're going to be here on this Facebook Live and going through the motions and doing what we got to do. I love this venue. I love this opportunity to speak with you folks face to face. I can't see you. I can see your comments and your questions. But I got to tell you, okay, here we go. We need to encourage small business ownership. People can be business owners themselves and be owner operators and these types of shuttle services to keep less rental cars, hotels. Oh my God, that's a long one. Keys to stop thinking that they have to have their hand in every cookie jar like the Princeville shuttle. No, you know, I did not. The Princeville shuttle was a disaster. I didn't support it because it was a county thing. It was we were paying. Absolutely not. The taxpayers are not responsible for taking care of the visitor industry. And I got to tell you right now, I don't have a problem with a partnership, but I agree, Sherry. It's not us. It's not for us to go and do that. No, we will partner with the visitor industry and the state. The state has to have some ownership and some stake in this. I'm getting tired of doing the state's work, and they keep taking our money. And that's something that I will fight for. Frustrating. And, you know, Sherry, now that you brought that up, Anahola, your association has a great program out there, and we need more of those. Entrepreneurship on Kauai is limitless because of e-commerce and the online experience. We can create entrepreneurs and they can succeed with the right training and the right guidance. Jeff, 10 phone calls right now. Absolutely. I'm getting the message across. I'm going to close with this. We're 6 days away. If every one of you on this call right now can call 10 people and ask them to call 10 people, I feel like an Amway meeting. But bottom line is this. We need about 13,000 people to win this election. We need about 13,000 voters to come out and vote. And I cannot do that alone. We've made thousands of calls in the last year. We need a lot more. We need your help. And please, if you want to see the change that we just talked about in the last hour, it's only going to happen with Mel Rapozo. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm not saying that to be arrogant. I'm saying that because that's the truth. And you know it, and I know it. If you want to see change, then you need to create the change. And you create the change by going to the ballot on November 6th and voting for Mel Rapozo. This is, we'll be here Wednesday, November 7th. We'll probably do some Facebook Lives on election night as well. But I just want to say, because this is the last one before the election, the last Facebook Live, thank you to all of you that have supported our campaign. Thank you to all of you that have decided to join our campaign. We've had a lot of people jump on board. We've had a lot of people cross over from other candidates, and we appreciate that. And I think it's really because they want to see the change. And change is not always bad. Change is good. I think you feel my passion. It's really, those plans are on paper. Those plans are tangible solutions. But at the end of the day, when you vote for Mel, you're voting for my passion. You're voting for my heart for this island. There is nowhere else I want to be. I think I want to make this point real clear, and I'll close with this. At the debate on Waimea, there was a very critical question that I asked my opponent. I said, are you committed to the people of Kauai for 8 years? Are you committed to be the mayor of Kauai for 8 years? Or are you considering a run for governor in 4? And my opponent said, that's an unfair question because I don't have a crystal ball. And I don't know what I'm going to do in 4 years. I cannot tell you what I'm going to do in 4 years. If the people want me up there, then I will go. Well, let me tell you this. I'm not looking at being a governor. I'm not looking at doing a representative or being a senator. I'm not looking at being a congressman. I want to be your mayor for the next 8 years. So my vision, our plans can be implemented, and we can provide a much better place for our kids. I thank you. I love each and every one of you. God bless you all. Get out and vote. We only have 6 days left. I need your help. Got any questions, comments, anything else you want to talk about? Hit me up on the messenger here. I'll get it. We can talk story. Go have a cup of coffee. Aloha. Take care. God bless.